Let's make some fire-roasted Salsa Roja and Salsa Verde. You're going to start off with tomatillos. I used about 25 or so. 1 onion quartered, 1 Serrano pepper, 1 teaspoon salt, 1 teaspoon oregano, 3 tablespoons cilantro, and half of an avocado. You're going to start by roasting the tomatillos. I used a grill cage, that way I could set it off to the side over the fire while I grilled up the other vegetables on the grill top. I will also roast some garlic. I use about 4 to 5 cloves each salsa over the fire as well. For the Salsa Roja, you're going to want 4 to 6 tomatoes, 1 to 2 onions quartered, 1 jalapeno, 1 serrano, or you could do 1 poblano, which is what I did in this case, and a teaspoon salt, teaspoon oregano, 3 tablespoons cilantro, and then of course you're going to roast the garlic along there as well. We're going to get these vegetables roasted. Tonight we're going to serve our salsas on top of some lamb tacos. I love to use whatever meat we have on hand that we raise ourselves, and usually we have a few freezers full of it. When using a molcajete, you're going to start off with the hard to the soft. So you'll start with salt, then garlic, then onions, then chiles, tomatoes, and herbs. I did not remove any of the seeds of the peppers, but for the salsa roja, I wanted it to be a little more mild, so I made sure to remove the seed. I decided to just dice up my onions instead of putting them through the molcajete. We're starting off with the salsa verde, and I'm just going to follow that same method. I will add the avocado towards the end. Tonight, in the true Cowgirl Cookin spirit, I wanted to share a story with you. The story of Eleanor Pruitt. She was a widow and mother who made her living washing clothes in Denver, and she planned to go to work as a housekeeper for a rancher while learning all she could learn about homesteading so she could homestead for herself. So in 1909, she goes to work for Clyde Stewart, whose ranch was near anyways, Burnt Fork, Wyoming. And within 6 weeks, she'd gone off and married him. So she wrote a series of letters to her friend, Juliet Coney. It was her former employer. And in the end, she even maintained her independence by filing on a quarter section right next and like adjacent to her husband's land, and she worked it herself. So we're going to read some of her letters tonight and throughout the next episodes until we complete her story. Burnt Fork, Wyoming, April 18th, 1909. Dear Mrs. Coney, are you thinking I am lost like the babes in the wood? Well, I am not, and I'm sure the robins would have the time of their lives getting leaves to cover me out here. I am way up close to the Forest Reserve of Utah, within half a mile of the line, 60 miles from the railroad. I was 24 hours on the train and 2 days on the stage, and oh, those 2 days. The snow was just beginning to melt, and the mud was about the worst I ever heard of. The first stage we tackled was just about as rickety as it could very well be, and I had to sit with the driver, who was a Mormon, and so handsome that I was not a bit offended when he insisted on making love all the way, especially after he told me that he was a widower Mormon. But of course, as I had no chaperone, I looked very fierce. Not that that was very difficult with the wind and mud as allies, and told him my actual opinion of Mormons in general and particular. Meantime, my new employer, Mr. Stewart, sat upon a stack of baggage and was dreadfully concerned about something he calls his tookie, but I'm unable to tell you what that is. The road being so muddy was full of ruts, and the stage acted as if it had the hiccups and made us all talk as though we were affected in the same way. Once Mr. Stewart asked me if I did not think it a gay dirt trip. I told him he could call it gay if he wanted to, but it didn't seem very hilarious to me. Every time the stage struck a rock or a rut, Mr. Stewart would hoot until I began to wish we could come to a hollow tree or a hole in the ground so he could go in with the rest of the owls. At last we arrive, and everything is just lovely for me. I have a very, very comfortable situation, and Mr. Stewart is absolutely no trouble, for as soon as he has his meals, he retires to his room and plays on his bagpipe, only he calls it his bug peep. It is the Campbells are coming without variations at intervals all day long, and from 7 till 11 at night. Sometimes I wish they would make haste and get here. There's a saddle horse especially for me, and a little shotgun with which I am to kill sage chickens. We are between 2 trout streams, so you can think of me as being happy when the snow is through melting and the water gets clear. We have the finest flock of Plymouth Rocks and get so many nice eggs. It sure seems fine to have all the cream I want after my town experiences. Jerian is making good use of all the good things we are having. She rides the pony to water every day. I have not filed on my land yet because the snow is 15 feet deep on it, and I think I would rather see what I'm getting, so I will wait until summer. They have just 3 seasons here, winter and July and August. We are to plant our garden the last of May. When it is so I can get around, I will see about land and find out all I can tell you. I think this letter is about to reach 32ndly, so I will send you my sincerest love and quit tiring you. Please write me when you have time. Sincerely yours, Eleanor Pruitt. We couldn't quite fit Eleanor's next letter into today's episode, so in next week's episode of Cowgirl Cookin', we'll hear all about how she filed her claim and her new piece of land. Our lamb is ready to pull off the grill and our salsas are done. It'll be time to eat in just a few minutes. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Cowgirl Cookin', and that I'll see you next time as we continue the story of Miss Eleanor Pruitt and enjoy some more good food.